It's good evening here, as you say. I just want to drop a quick one about this trending issue about the recent, cap placed by IRCC on the number of international students coming to Canada. Now, I wasn't surprised because we've been following events and actually we know this is coming because over the past few months and even going to a year, there has been lots of pressures on IRCC and the Minister of Immigration, Mark Miller, to bring about sanity into the system. City councils, a lot of them have been talking about issue of not being able to support these students when they come into Canada. And the truth of the matter is most of, or some of these institutions, I should say, they see this as a way of making money. So we are not surprised about these measures that we are putting in place today, putting a cap on the number of students that are eligible to come to Canada in 2024 and in 2025. So this recent cap is expected to last for 2 years. And it's understandable, truth be told, because can you imagine in the year 2022, Canada kind of opened these borders to about 800,000 students. In 2023, we are talking about over 900,000 students. International students were allowed into Canada. I mean, the system became strained. And these international students, let's say, for example, half of them were married. Now, half of them will come in with their spouse as well. So when you have 900 students coming and 450,000 spouse is coming, that's over 1.35 million people coming into Canada in 1 year. So it became strenuous that even the cost of living, especially housing, like basically, this is pure economics, like pure economics, right? When the demand is high, the demand for a commodity is high, the cost becomes high. So when this large number of international students and their families troop into Canada with little houses to, accommodate everybody, the cost of housing became unbearable. And some of these students, they end up living in unimaginable places. So I wasn't surprised when I heard this measure that was put in place to limit the number of students to about 35%. So in the year 2024, we are just expecting about 360,000 international students spread across all the provinces to come in. Okay, so in this short video, I'll try to summarize things that we are affected or things that we are impacted. Okay, so in this recent development happening today, now the PGWP will no longer be given to spouses of international students, except you are studying for your master's and PhD. Meaning that if you intend to come and study a program, maybe in secondary school or as an undergraduate, your spouse can no longer be qualified for open work permit, I should say. Okay, now it's only spouses of those studying master's and doctorate degree that will be given the open work permit to work. Okay, now secondly, even those that study in program they call as a part of a curriculum licensing. What does that mean? There are cases where some colleges will be affiliated, some private colleges or private institutions will be affiliated to to other public universities, and they will be licensed to teach their curriculum. Now, with this recent development, it can no longer happen, and you cannot be eligible for PGWP when you study in such programs. Okay, so that is another thing that is also impacted by these recent measures that we are placed today. Now, thirdly is that provinces are expected actually to give a letter of attestation to these students when they come in, meaning that these provinces will ascertain and will attest that they have the necessary facilities, the housing, and other things, to support these students when they come to their provinces. Now, they were given a deadline of March the 31st, 2024, to fine-tune a way to do that. So currently, there's no clear, way that these territories and provinces will even issue these letters of attestation to prospective students to come in and live and study in their provinces. Okay, so another thing that was impacted by this recent announcement is that, initially the length of the PGWP you are given is dependent on the length of your study. But based on the announcement today, for example, if you study masters, they might give you 2 to 3 years. But now it's certain that if you do a master's or other short graduate programs, you'll be qualified for 3 years, which is something good. So it was done in order to, not to shortchange those that do shorter graduate programs or master's degree programs. So it's now set and clear that if you do your master's or other, short-term graduate programs, you'll be given 3 years PGWP. Now, what are the things that were not impacted by these changes? Okay, so if you've been doing or you intend to do your master's and your PhD program, you are not, affected. Your program will still continue. You are not impacted by this. You are not under those that were, cut off by this fixed number. So those coming in to do masters and PhD, you are not part of these 360,000 international candidates. You are not considered. It's those in colleges, undergrad, and things like that. Okay? So those that are holding, study permit currently, you are not affected. Okay? Even renewal of study permits are not equally affected. Now, my 2 cents about this is a good measure. Initially it started by increasing the proof of fund to over $20,000. And now this cap on the number of international students. Even UK and other countries, they are taking measures in order to, make those in the country comfortable while also caring for those that are coming to live and study here. Now, my advice is this. Because these 360,000 students will be shared across all the provinces based on the population size. Now, my advice is this. Target provinces that are not so much, that are not densely populated. As much as possible, you can forget Ontario. Ontario alone has over 561 DLIs. Because it is densely populated, I bet you few numbers of students will be approved for Ontario. So your application might be rejected based on this. So go to the Atlantic regions and places that are not densely populated to stand a chance. You can study there, and if you want to move back to Ontario later, you can do that as well. That is one of my key advice to people. Now, check out other pathways. It's not just education that you can use to migrate to Canada. You can come in through express entry, provincial nomination. Check out my video here about express entry and other pathways. That would help you as well. Then thirdly, if you have the money, come do masters. That will give you straight 3 years. Or you could as well, go for funded master's degree program, and that would also help you. All right, that is my 2 cents on this issue. I know it's difficult, I know it's hard, but overall, it's for the good of everybody. So let's, look at the positive side of this and work towards, making this work out for everybody. Thank you for staying with me on this one. If you found this exciting and helpful, please share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and together we'll grow. Thank you, and as usual, I'll see you in yet another one. Adios.